I don't know if you heard of Vampire Night.
I've recently heard about it. I saw a coworker at work watching it during her downtime. I was like, I didn't realize it, but I could tell. Like, I have this weird thing where I watch so much anime now that I could tell this sounds like a dub. What's this?
Sounds like a dumb. Okay, so Vampire Night I was exposed to when I was like in seventh, eighth grade. My friend exposed me to it at that time in middle school, and it's basically like another vampire anime, except it was about this girl. I don't want to give the whole thing away, but like there was this girl who is friends with like a vampire, not a vampire hunter, but like yeah, technically a vampire hunter. Like, and that guy was Zero. Like he hates vampires with a passion.
Even though he is one.
No, he's not. He's human. He's completely human. But he hates vampires with a passion, and he tries to protect her throughout the entire anime from this particular vampire who was clearly into her and was like trying to like suck her blood. So, okay, I'm gonna spoil the plot anyway. It turns out she's part of a vampire family, but she was turned human. So like, and so when you start the anime, she's human, but then it turns out like she was a part of a rich vampire family. The vampire that was into her was her brother, so he was trying to turn her back. So that eventually happened, and Zero was just looking at her, and he was like, "You know what? One day I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna kill you." like, so like and that's how like they had this for like 2 seasons. Like this was like a long story for like 2 seasons, and like it was very, from like the way I remembered, it was just very. I had like it was very mixed because like parts of it like the first season seemed like very romantical, and you thought something was gonna go on, but then you reach the second season and it's like, oh shit, like these people are related. like like these people are actually related, and it was just like, and then it was just like a major plot twist. I had like a crush on Zero for some reason. Because we're reaching puberty, okay? So you're not a real weeb if you don't have a crush on any anime character you want.
Alright, I had a crush on Melfina from El Star. Come at me.
But yeah, so Zero was just very like gothic. He was just very like emo looking. Like he would dress like in all black with like the white hair, and
Oh, he was a Sephiroth.
like like and you could tell he was just like tall and skinny. Meanwhile, this vampire, he's dressed in all white, but his hair was like pitch black with like the typical red eyes. But the mainly story plot just relied on like this girl and like her journey, because she also doesn't really like remember her past either.
Oh, so she has amnesia.
Like
Or
yeah,
kinda.
yeah, like she kind of had like amnesia, and like all of that came back to her when she turned back into a vampire in the second season. And like they kept on hinting on a third season, but it never happened.
How long ago was that anime?
Oh my god, I was like 13, so like over, not over 10 years ago, but almost a decade at this point, in my opinion. like
Yeah, no season 3.
yeah, that's like never coming out.
Unless they've wrapped it up in the manga.
Maybe. Maybe. Because I think they did have a manga. But to go off of that, I think like if you're like into like vampires like me, like that's like the anime to start with, because like the plot is just like the visuals and like the plot is just like good enough to like kind of what you want to pay attention to it a little bit. It's kind of like it's almost like Twilight, except there's not much of a sexual tension there. It's just more like
Oh, you mean Twilight with an actual story?
yeah.
Okay, now I can give it a chance.
And some like the occasional plot twist, but yeah. And then another vampire anime, Dancing with the Vampire Bond.
Okay, I've not heard of that.
You never heard of that?
No, I was mainly into Helsing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's just that one's also different because apparently there's like this 1,000-year-old vampire, and of course she looks like she's 12 years old.
Of course, a little Lita type.
Of course you look, but apparently I don't know, don't quote me on this, but from what I remembered, there would be a time where like if she's like powerful enough, she would turn into like a full looking woman. like
Like, I need that blood so I can grow up.
like like there will be like times where she turns into like a full woman, but other than that she's just like in this kid form. And there would be like she would have a protector, and this protector turns into a werewolf.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Kind of cool, but ideally that's not your ideal situation. Usually they're against each other, not like a werewolf protecting like this 12-year-old looking vampire. Like, what is this? But they kept on of course they're gonna like hint on a love situation while this clan of like vampires are dealing with other like shit throughout the anime. It's like it's one of those things where you kind of like watch when you're like bored, but like not at the same time because of the action and like the visuals too, because like it's like in the city, so it also like takes place like in the city, so it's not like your normal like looking type of like vampire thing where it's like some random town of nowhere. like
No gothic castles, no.
there's definitely like interior wise, and like there's like multiple scenes where it's like in church like settings, but that's like
spread across, not always
Yeah.
at the epicenter of the forefront.
yeah. So that it's like something I would recommend like people who are kind of into vampire animes to watch. That and also Blood Plus, because Blood Plus was really good. I actually liked Blood Plus. Have you heard of like Blood Plus?
I've read the manga, I haven't seen the anime.
Oh, okay, but you know about the twins though.
Yeah.
So Blood Plus is like about these twins. They look the same, but like their eye color is different. One is red, one is blue. I don't know why they did that though. That makes no sense.
I guess to tell them apart.
I mean, yeah, I guess so, but at the same time, it's like it's not what you expect from like typical vampires in an anime. Like if they went like orange and red, I could have like been like, okay, that's cool.
Or
but,
red and black.
Yeah, just like an all over black though, not like a regular eye black. Like that would have been like really cool.
Like a maroon or kind of like a copper red.
Yeah, but like throughout the entire anime was just like on like these two twins, and like basically like one has to kill the other because I forgot what the other was doing, but she wasn't. Obviously, she was like the evil character. Like the other twin was like the evil character of the entire anime. But like in the end, she ends up going back to sleep for like 1,000 years. Meanwhile, she built this connection with like this boy and his whole family who owns like a restaurant, and it's like, okay, well, what's gonna happen then? Because by the time you wake up, like he dead. So
Like, it'll all be gone.
like everybody is gonna be non-existent. But I don't know. I just like find it interesting how like to kill each other, like they have to use their own blood. Like, yeah.
I forgot that part.
Like they have to like use their own blood because technically they're allergic to each other's blood.
What is this? We're trying to turn this into a blood cult?
It's not a blood cult if you can die from someone else's blood, sir. like, because like they would like cut their thumbs on their blades to make sure like it's filled with their blood. So when they slice each other, it's kind of like acid to each other. Like it's weird. I thought that was kind of weird though. It's like why? But it's like it's each other's acid. So like if they like was to like stab someone in the heart, like the heart would like practically melt inside of them because it's like their blood is like each other's acid.